Scorpio Dreamers, Scorpio Sun, Moon, and Rising Dreamers. Actually, in particular for this particular reading, it will be your rising sign because this is in the transit of the Moon's nodes and how they affect you over the next 18 months. Before I get into that, if you notice in my introduction, I have crystals available on my website and at my Etsy store. It's just the beginning of having it, kind of testing it out in both markets to see how it works. They do mirror each other, whichever one makes you more comfortable. Just to let you know, I go out and dig these crystals myself, from Mother Earth to my hands to you. I do, when I go out there, I have the greatest respect for these crystals that I'm gathering, keeping in mind that I'm getting them specifically for light workers and healers. And boy, the Mother Earth has really paid off. She has given me some amazing, powerful crystals that are definitely, I have even some Tao crystals, some master crystals. Haven't listed those yet, but they will be out there soon. So yeah, some really powerful crystals. Some of them are perfect and beautiful even to look at. But I don't always look at the outer beauty, because some of the most powerful things in this world, and you know this all even better than most of us, Scorpio, some of the most powerful and special things may not have the most fancy outer package, but still that means it's a very powerful crystal or a very powerful person in that way. And speaking of powerful people, Scorpio, let's look into how this is going to affect you over the next 18 months. This North Node going into your opposite sign of Taurus, while at the same time Uranus in Taurus has gone direct, so bringing in that element of surprise, and that's hitting your 7th house of relationships, coming out of that North Node in Gemini in your 8th house, where it was very Scorpionic. You know, you're dealing with death, taxes, how you share your resources with other people, shared resources. Is it equal give and take, or not? You know, living in a house with people, how do you deal with resources and all of that? And of course, sex and all those taboos, you know, death, sex, all that Scorpio stuff. You just got out of that, and now it's about the other people. Gonna test out all this stuff that you were were working on before all that shadowy stuff that you were working on, that Scorpionic work, where I don't want to repeat these cycles and these relationship cycles. Well, guess what? The universe is bringing up an opportunity to test out those new theories you have of interdependence and not codependence, right? So a lot of you Scorpio dreamers, of course, that's what you've been working toward, because I want to maintain myself, my sense of self, and my autonomy, while at the same time doing what Scorpio loves to do most, and that's merge and blend with the other. So, and of course, that leads us to the South Node, which is in your 1st house, Scorpio, and that is the house of the self. Speaking of the self and maintaining autonomy, how you relate to yourself, see yourself, how you've been treating yourself, all those things that deal with you and how your relationship to yourself that no longer work for you are on the way out there. That's following being in the South Node in Sagittarius. So you were dealing with jobs and your values, your possessions, that kind of stuff. So it's been really heavy, like money, finance focus over the last year and a half. Now it's moving into the relationships you have with yourself, in particular, how you've not been treating yourself properly, and your relationship with yourself through the mirror of the other, okay? Excuse me. Got a little sage burning there. So, let me move mouse out of the way. Bye, mouse. Get up. Okay, so I started off this reading picking one card for each node from the medicine cards and from the ancestor speak cards. The first one we have on the North Node is the Antelope card. All right, that's all about putting things into action. All these things you've been stewing about, dreaming about, perhaps even over the last year and a half or even longer. It's time to put it into action. Those opportunities for relationships, in particular, that really connected one, but where you merge, you may have the opportunity to get to try that out. Is it going to be successful? Is it not? You never know till you try, right? So, this is about taking action in that area. It's also not just a relationship with lovers. It's a relationship with everybody. The seventh house, that's the house that Libra rules. It's not just that one intimate relationship. It's how we relate to everybody. Even the person at the checkout line, your mom, your dad, friends, family, kids. All of that. All of these relationships that are important, and they're going to go through a major transformation that you started in the last 18 months. Is going to be continuing, and of course, clearing up and cleaning up your relationship with yourself as well. That all those things of how you saw yourself, how you dealt with yourself, and it could be some really negative self images that need to go away so you can have a healthier, positive inner self image. Excuse me, Mercury's still retrograde. So, and that takes us, with the Antelope. Working with others, I see for a lot of you, it's going to be in a teaching and sharing. It could be in a lot of ways. Being online, like on YouTube, such as this, having your own YouTube channel. It could be teaching and sharing within your community or just within your group of people and the people that you're immediately see every day. It's really that people are going to see you as the teacher, perhaps, or in these days and times, as we just got out of the Gemini North Node, we kind of learned the phrase of each one teach one. So sharing that back and forth. We all share and learn from each other. Now, the Beaver is talking about building a new sense of self, because the Beaver is the builder. He's the one that builds all of these, he builds goes and chews the trees down and builds his little beaver lodge and creates the dam and stops the water from flowing so he can have a nice, deep, dark, recessed, kind of scorpionic little area to play around in, right? And that's talking about building a whole new sense of self through the whole self-health, and that's eating better, natural therapies, having some balance in your life, and that includes a good work-life balance, because I really see that you guys were overworked and stressed out, with money and work issues and etc. So a lot of things are going to shift and change in that area, and that relationship with yourself and how you take care of yourself in all of these ways that perhaps you are a little self-abusive, so to speak, and that could be, bad habits, bad eating habits. It could even be some addictions that to purge and to be gone with. Of course, you remember South Node is in Scorpio, purging, dealing with those addictions, getting into the raw truth of the situation. Okay, tarot cards. I was reaching for this deck, so that's going to be the one it is. Let's see what the tarot has to say to Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. I almost had a heart attack thinking my microphone was off. Let me double check, because that's happened to me more than once during this Mercury retrograde, trying to get these readings up. Okay, we're good. Yes! I get to take a break after this one. I'll come back tomorrow and do everybody else's reading. There's only so many I can do in a day, and that is talking about that self-regulation, knowing when it's time not to push yourself too hard, when it's time to eat, when it's time to sleep, when it's time to meditate, when it's time to have sex, baby, and when it is time to go to work. There's a time for everything. Time to go out and work with others and teach and share. So let's see what is going on. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the next 18 months. The general energy. I'm going to be coming back and doing a lot more readings along the way. There is Inspector Death, your card. That's what I named it for this time, because you're going to be, the South Node of Scorpio for us all is going to be bringing up some really heavy issues to face and to deal with, and the secrets, a lot of secrets flying around in your personal life. as well as, oh my God, out in the world. You know what I'm talking about, Scorpio. You've been feeling it, you've been smelling it. I can feel you smelling it, yeah. All that shit going on out in the world and the truth that's going to be coming out. And you said, I told you so. You didn't listen to me, but I told you so. Because you did know. You knew, Scorpio. You knew. Okay, let's go. We have Strength card. You have a newfound strength, a situation, leaving that devil shadow behind. There you are, Inspector Death, coming right behind Temperance. The new cycle of change in the Wheel of Fortune, working with other people. Reverse Two of Swords, reverse. Not quite ready to move into that new world. Let's see what else we have here. They just want to pop out. I mean, the whole story that I just told is coming out in these very cards just like that. Okay, Scorpio. Wow. Yep. You know how it is, right? When you tune in, when you're tuned in and you tapped in, tuned in, and turned on, you know what you know. So, the Strength card, again, you've had this newfound strength because this is the shadow side. You've already done a lot of your shadow work and come out of that having the strength to face yourself, face your shadow, face all these dark things that you've been hidden, using your own Inspector Death energy to go dig down in there and find out about it. To this point now, that energy is lessening up. Of course, that's the devil energy, Capricorn. You may have been dealing with Capricorns in the past, but definitely Capricornian kind of oppressive, controlling energy. And I'm feeling for some of you around your house, your home, or the areas that you've been in a lot, and just needing to get some freedom and a new cycle, a new change. Time for temperance and balance, yes. And this is definitely a balance between, you need to take care of yourself and fill up your own cup first before you go and give too much to others. But that's what you were working on for the last, 18 months, 2 years, is, where there's been codependency, and now it's time to be more interdependent with other people, and part of that is being independent enough to know when it's time to step back and take care of yourself, and then when you have the energy to go and give to others. Now, there is going to be more of a demand or more of a commitment when it comes to others. It could be a relationship or committing to teaching a class for 6 weeks or 9 months or however long, So there is some kind of element of commitment going on. And of course, committing to yourself and taking better care of yourself on all levels. And that requires balance. Like the Archangel Michael comes up. This is that Sagittarius South Node energy. And it says, remember what you learned there, the new value systems that you've learned, and what to truly value in your life. Maybe it isn't all these possessions and things. You realize you could do without it. That you didn't need all that, but maybe your peace and quiet and your little spider hole, your cave to go into was a lot more valuable than stuff or having that big house. Okay, I'll downsize so long as I can have my own little space within that space. That's what I'm hearing from some of you. And then, of course, the Wheel of Fortune, this big change in energy, this shift in gears. Of course, it looks like a gear, right? So we've had this major shift in gears happening, and it is led by Inspector Death, Scorpio, right? Scorpio and Sag been digging down there in them south nodes, bringing up the truth. And then we're talking on the world scale as well, but it's happening to all of us personally. You have felt this really heavily, and it's really turned the tides in your life and changed it for the better, although it hasn't been easy, especially when it comes to dealing with groups. This Three of Cups situation I've seen in the past, perhaps the shadow side of you, your own shadow, your own fears have kept you in this Two of Swords situation, holding you back from wanting to interact with group activities. However, that's easing up now. Some kind of justice has happened. This is, could be a Libra also, but I really feel some kind of justice and balance has come into your life, and you've gotten to a point. It could have been a justice within some kind of friend group that went wrong, and things are finally setting right. It could even be a relationship where there was a third party, and now there's finally justice. It could even have been a divorce. Now you can move on and go be with the person you want to be with. There's a lot of different scenarios for the different people. I'll do readings in the future. We'll look into that more. This is just an overview for this transit. I do see this Two of Cups. So, you are very nervous. There might have been some relationships in the past that, just didn't go there, Scorpio. That's judgment reverse. We didn't rise up. We did not ascend together. It turned out to be a karmic shitstorm. That wonderful relationship, that twin flame situation ended up being a karmic mess. Definitely having a clearer perspective on relationships and your part in keeping up the rose-colored glasses fantasy around all of this. And I do think it came to a point where there was a tower moment. There may be people leaving your life in the first part of this North Node transit. Remember, it's an opposition, so definitely feeling opposition within relationships and having to relearn how to do it. And you may be a teacher in a situation. It may not be a teacher who sits down with the class. It might be we're teaching each other by trying to work through this situation, but definitely it was a tower moment. There was a short moment in the sun. That's what the reverse sun was saying. So there might have been some quick little relationship that happened over the last cycle of the year and a half, but it did not end well. There was a tower interference. It could be some third party interference that got in the way, some injustice, but justice and balance is coming. It left you after that tower moment. Left you really hanging. Like, I don't know who I am. Where do I want to go? Felt a little lost, and a lot of us did over the last couple of years, especially with that North Node in Gemini. All that information, and no clarity and no understanding of really where to put all that energy. Just give me somewhere to put this. Oh, it's over here. 1 minute it's over there, and now there's tower moments and shit storms and fires to be put out and all kind of stuff, to the point where you're a Nine of Swords just ready to go crawl up in your hole and hide. I don't want to deal with it, but now there's this healing. And it could also be some health problems that you or another person went through that over the last couple of years. There could have been some health problems with people in your life, close relationships, a business partnership, even some parents, children, whatever. Somebody was close to you and there was a tower moment. Hopefully you didn't lose anybody, but there could have been some illness that I see here from the Nine of Swords. Okay, I feel like a lot of that is going to calm down, but remember, Uranus and Taurus, I keep coming back to this, is there's going to be towers and surprises in relationships over the next 18 months. Just prepare for it. I'm just giving you the truth. I'm just telling you the truth. I'm not sugarcoating it like I would for Libra or the other people. It's like, oh yeah, but maybe yeah. No, it's gonna be some shit, but you are going to be able to handle it better than you did in the past. The other people ain't gonna change. They're not doing anything different. Do you expect that they would? Really? Come on. But what has changed is you and your perspective and your sense of self. Again, that new sense of self that's going to be evolving. If you don't have it now, you will by the end of this 18 months. Hopefully, if you're going toward your destiny, if you're a Scorpio dreamer and not a Scorpio screamer. Scorpio screamers are victims, wah, 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 bitch, I'm the baby kind of thing, right? Scorpio dreamers are the ones that say, okay, let's create a new way of relating. At first, a new way of relating to yourself that creates a different way of reacting to others, because you're able to go into more, I'm feeling for a lot of you, you've learned to go more into the observer mode, step back and not take things so personally. For you Scorpio dreamers. You just have to accept people where they're at, And you can't change people we can't change people to make us feel better. We have to change our own perspective about our lives. Ooh, Scorpio, definitely with this goes on a lot with this relationship spread. Now, first we got deception. That's a little bit of a red flag. Gonna have to take off those masks and tell people the true. Maybe tell somebody how you really feel about them, if and don't, not wear a false mask, even if you're acting like you don't care, or there may be another person that's doing that. You just have to, it depends on your particular situation, but there is engagement and wedding. Oh my God, Scorpio, your North Node and your 7th house, that is your destiny. For so some of you, you are definitely destined to hook up in a new relationship sometime over the next 18 months. It may happen right away, may not. Depends on what degree Scorpio you're in. And it may be one of those, shock and surprise kind of go to Vegas kind of weddings, or shotgun wedding maybe, but it's going to be one of those kind of shock you out of the situation. You might immediately leave one person to go marry another person, and some of you've been together for a while, and you're ready, time to take off that self-deception, the mask. I do really think that you really need to look at the situation and make sure you're dealing with the right person before you get engaged in marriage. Of course, that's typical advice, but there is a potential for going to the chapel to get married in the next 18 months. Well, you go, Scorpio. Well, there you go. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing. Thank you for watching this live. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to go by the Mystic Hawk and check out the crystals that I have, and I do have personal readings available. Anyway, they're just pretty to look at, even if you don't want one. But I appreciate everything you do to support my channel. And thank you, and sweet dreams, Scorpio Dreamers. Bye-bye now.